Welcome all. I am Dharmesh Agarwal presenting Managing ERP Implementation Failure from a Project Management Perspective. This paper is authored by Chen CC, Lal C, Young SC. This paper is from the journal Engineering Management IEEE Transactions. It is cited by 15 papers. Overview. This presentation discusses following topics. What is ERP? What is the importance of ERP to the organizations? Why ERP is so complex? What is the importance of Project Management Office, PMO Office, in the ERP implementations? The case study discussed is from a multinational company. This company had implemented ERP in back to back phases. This study analyzes the Phase I and Phase II of the ERP implementation from a project management perspective. Every study has some models, and so does this. These models are discussed in the conceptual foundations of the study. We will discuss about these models presented by few authors here, and then we will discuss the project management areas in which this research is based. Slide 3. We will then discuss what were the factors due to which the phase 1 of the ERP implementation was a failure. Each of the project management area is then discussed. Major improvements were done in the phase 2 of the ERP, and these improvements are discussed. These major improvements conclude that how a ERP project should be managed in each of the project management area. Last, this research paper serves as a foundation for doing future research in ERP implementation. I have described a few research topics outlined by this research paper and also some that I have thought can be done. Slide 4. So, what is ERP? Enterprise Resource Planning ERP system is an information system that supports and integrates many facets of a business, including planning, manufacturing, sales, and marketing. ERP often requires years of implementation and post implementation and requires a huge investment of time and money. Based upon surveys, today the market of ERP stands at more than 100 billion market. There are two main companies in the large scale ERP market, Oracle and SAP. So why is ERP important for organization? ERP is important because a successful integrated ERP system can enhance the operational efficiency by supporting the firm's business process. It also creates competitive advantages and it enables innovative practices. This practices becomes a part of the business and it supports its tactical movements and strategic directions. ERP complexity. Why ERPs are so complex? A ERP or a large scale project is managed at different locations, in different time zones, and used by different users, which can create many difficulties. This is applicable because ERP systems are typically large scale. It cuts across functional boundaries and it often also has heterogeneous stakeholders. This is especially so in a multinational company where business units are on different continents. In these situations, decoupling the large scale software project into flexible and manageable modules can be a challenge, and cross functional coordination is one of the most important issues in ERP implementations. Excellence in scope management, time, cost, risk, and communication is essential in meeting this challenge. Why is project management so important in ERP? Based upon several surveys, 51% of the companies across a wide range of industries stated that the ERP implementations were unsuccessful. The estimate is that about 74% of the ERP projects cannot deliver the promised functionality on time and on a budget. However, those implementation projects which had a formal program management office, the PMO office, in place reported lesser unsuccessful rate of 36% versus a 74% of those ERP implementations which had no formal PMO office. This result underscores the importance of project management in ERP implementations. Case study. We used a California based multinational company as the case of the study. It has the strategic business units across world. We use this company as it employs a sizable workforce and has implemented multiple modules. A medium or a large scale enterprise with processes can better provide a more realistic picture of ERP project failures. In addition, the interview's positive attitude towards academic research is extremely important for collection of accurate and reliable information. The case study examined 6 project management areas of expertise into 2 back-to-back ERP implementation at this multinational firm. The conceptual foundations of the study. To provide a richer understanding of ERP implementations, this study has adopted 3 conceptual models used in the literature to understand the results obtained from the case company. First, the data collected from the case company are presented using the stage model of organization computing. Second, the widely adopted project management area of expertise are used to assess the project management practices in both the first and the second implementations. Finally, the second implementation of the ERP at the case company is further articulated using the IT engagement model, which explains the mechanism contributing to the successful second implementation. Project management area expertise. The Project Management Institute systemizes the body of knowledge of project management into 6 different areas: scope management, risk management, communications management, procurement management, and integration management. Slide 11. Stage model of organizational computing. The stage model of organizational computing contains 4 stages: initiation, contagion, control, and integration. At the initiation stage, champions initiate a technology project with the financial and resource support of sponsors. There is a typically minimal planning at this stage. At the contagion stage, anxieties, problems, and sometimes crises emerge to slow the progress of the project. Top management is aware of the problems and searches for suitable controls, but there is little improvement in planning. At the control stage, management now begins to institute controls and planning becomes a top priority. Also at this stage, IT management's profile is often raised, priority setting becomes mandatory, and operational procedures become standardized. At the integration stage, controls are well established with planning and standardized procedures in place, and the adopting organization accepts the technology and assimilates it into the normal operation. Slide 12. Markus and Twain ERP process model. There are 4 stages of the stage model, which also closely parallel the widely cited ERP process model proposed by Markus and Twain. which contains 4 phases of an ERP's life cycle. 1. Chartering, 2. Project, 3. Shakedown, and 4. Onward and upward. In the chartering phase, the business case for the ERP project is presented and a decision to implement ERP is made. 2. In the project phase, the system is developed, configured and deployed, but many problems related to the implementation surface in this phase. 3. The shakedown phase encompasses the time between deployment and normal operation. It is during this time that controls are imposed, the system is stabilized, and the staff resources are optimized to address the problems. 4. In the onward and the upward phase, the system enters normal operation and the organization begins to utilize the system in its day-to-day activities. Project management areas and the stage model. This study combines the project management knowledge areas and the stage model. The stage model is used to present the results gathered for the first and the second ERP implementation. Then the project management knowledge areas are used to analyze and discuss the results as shown in the figure here. IT engagement model. In addition to the models discussed, this study uses another conceptual model, the IT engagement model, to further articulate how the second ERP implementation project became a success. This model has 3 components: company-wide IT governance, project management, and linking mechanism. In IT governance, top management makes decisions and allocates decision rights for making company-wide IT-related decisions. In project management, the IT department ensures that projects are coordinated and managed to achieve goals. The linking mechanism refers to processes and decision-making apparatus that connect project activities to overall IT governance. Bringing diverse stakeholders together is required to develop a greater coordination and alignment in an organization. Results. The evaluation of ERP implementation is analyzed based on the descriptive stage model consisting of initiation, contagion, control, and integration stages. The analysis is done with an emphasis on project management practices, namely scope, human resource, integration, communications, procurement, and risk management. Scope management. In the first phase, the project scope was loosely defined and open for interpretations. The ill-defined vanilla ERP did not prevent project scope creep from occurring. Although the management felt the need to replace the legacy system with an ERP system, the question of what modules to deploy first was not clearly discussed between users and the management. The process of incorporating add-on features was loosely defined and not systematic, and a flood of user requests came in with poor priority control of user request. However, in the second phase, the MS director decided to take advantage of the native ERP functionalities as much as possible while transforming the existing business practices. The decision was that at least 85% of business processes of SBUs would be kept in common. This arrangement made it easier to set up and support ERP instances. The strategic vanilla decision led to simplification and standardization of business processes across countries. The vanilla approach was highly enforced during the second phase of ERP implementation. However, this does not meant that customization was absolutely disallowed. Also in second phase, scope management was strictly exercised to control the extent of customization. Only when the core ERP functionality fails to achieve the critical business requirement can the customization can be considered. The committee also need to assess the business impact and risk associated with the customization decision before approving it. In the second phase, the scope planning was much more clearly defined and help encourage desirable behavior to manage user requests in a systemic manner. There was a set of clearly defined procedures and criteria for assessing user requests. HR management. In the first phase, the management did not increase the pool of HR or retrain users with skills to cope with the challenges of ERP implementation. The lack of in-house skills and knowledge in implementing the ERP system created chaos in the face of the technical troubles. In addition, in the first phase, the MS department pushed the responsibility for the ERP project out to the vendors, and there was a minimal knowledge transfer back to the internal MI's staff. Now, in the second phase, the company improved the consultant client relationship and shared understanding by working with local vendors on customized system modules. Also, in-house employees worked side by side with vendors to acquire knowledge and skills in implementing the system. Also, the on-job training and user involvement prepared in-house employees to overcome technical problems in the second phase. Now, in the ERP system of the first phase was treated just as an IT project, and the responsibilities were delegated to the MIS director and staff. However, in the second phase, the entire organization took ownership of the ERP system through the forum of the prioritization committee. The management restructured the MIS department by hiring an outside director and support team based upon their previous ERP experiences in the second phase, and this action improved the company's situation of not having enough qualified IS professionals. Integration management. In the first phase, the plan to replace legacy processes with ERP system that integrates across functions and locations was not carried out. Also, the business process redesigns necessary to accommodate the ERP modules did not succeed without the cooperation of functional users. Business process within the Southeast Asia region were not standardized. SBUs in the Southeast Asia region lacked knowledge in ERP implementation. On the top of it, unanticipated problems continued to rise, and there was little or no involvement of senior management and users from functional areas in project-related activities. Also, in the first phase, the ERP system was treated as an operational system, while in the second phase, the top management devised 3 explicit strategic goals for the ERP system to achieve. It aligned the ERP with business strategy, it streamlined the business processes, and it also minimized the extent of customization to the native system. Communication management. In the first phase, no users were involved in reaching the decision to implement the ERP system. Unanticipated problems continued to rise, and there was little or no involvement of the senior management and users from functional areas in project-related activities. As such, no evaluation criteria, weighting systems, and independent estimates were used to screen the business proposals of potential vendors. Rather, the management selected a vendor based upon its own preference, and this lack of dialogue was one of the many reasons of poor communication in the first phase of the project. In the second phase, to ensure the system success, an engagement mechanism was in place to involve the stakeholders via 3 components: the company-wide governance, the project management, and the linking mechanism. In terms of governance, whereas in the first phase there was minimal user involvement, in the second phase, the prioritization committee, made of stakeholders across functions and SBUs, was given more authority. The committee adopted a formalized policy to screen user requests based upon the urgency and extent of impact. This was in contrast to what was done in the first phase, where changes to system were permitted without much evaluation. In the first phase, the MIS department decided to outsource the project. The choice of partners was the preference of the management rather than the outcome of a rigorous screening procedure. In the first phase, the MIS department simply treated the ERP system as a turnkey system with an ongoing support contract. However, in the second phase, the MIS department proactively managed the partnership by recurring vendors to generate monthly and quarterly performance reports. Also, in the first phase, there was a lack of formal process and procedure to manage the stakeholders' interest. In the second phase, the prioritization committee served as a linking mechanism to connect the project level activities to overall IT governance. Risk management. In the first phase, MIS department did not formulate a formal risk response plan to resolve the unanticipated operational risk. While in the second phase, the in-house employees worked side by side with vendors to acquire knowledge and skills in implementing the ERP system, and the MIS department formulated a risk response plan. Conclusions. What this study has demonstrated is that it is critical to manage the impact and conflicts by incorporating the project management practices in the implementation process. That means scope, communications, risk, HR, procurement, and integration management. ERP deployments are recommended to have an empowered prioritization committee that is authorized to make binding decisions and create efforts in accomplishing business goals. It is important for project managers to manage communication process and create a forum in which stakeholders can order priorities and discuss issues. Managing the conflict between the business and IS throughout a system development cycle is imperative to the successful delivery of an ERP project. Research examples. This case study is a useful foundation in investigating the practice of project management in ERP development. For future research, researchers may want to focus on just one particular project management area while expanding the number of case sites. For example, one may want to investigate the process of risk management and compare the risk management at several firms. Such a study can shed light on factors that contribute to differences in risk management practices and also may lead to a model of risk management in ERP projects. Another example, it may be useful to ascertain the factors leading to effective scope management. Another example is to see if there is a relationship between the project management maturity and positive outcomes of ERP implementation. A positive confirmation of the relationship can firmly establish the value of project management in ERP implementation and encourage firms to emphasize more on their project management expertise.